I wake up in the morning, veggies, no eggs.
Hit the gym, all chest, no legs.
And then make myself a smoothie.
Then me and wifey watch a movie. Not going to say make a movie because we're anti-porn here. So we watch a movie. Anyway, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Two Savage Democrats podcast, episode 78. Take 3. I finally remember the episode number.
Always pushing your agenda.
I have to, you know? You have to push the agenda because that's what the left does. The left is constantly pushing their agenda. So I'm like, you know what? I'm pushing my agenda. And I have, shamelessly pushing my agenda. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/TSFDpod to get access to free content, epic Discord conversations. You get access to a private Discord, the full video podcast, and a bunch of other awesome stuff as well. So go to patreon.com/TSFDpod for that. We will talk about that later on the show. But for this episode, we have a lot of interesting stuff going on.
Like everything happened.
Everything happened this week. I was really excited. Kamala Harris getting selected. I was excited and scared, to be honest. You know.
Yeah.
Do you ever just see some news and you're like, "Oh, it's gonna be awesome. We can talk about it on the podcast," and then you go,
"Oh shit!"
But our country might be screwed. You know, it's just one of which it's already screwed, and that's just the end of it.
It's knee pads and pee pads, but
heels up Harris.
Heels up Harris.
Heels up Harris. You know, that's a joke. But yeah, so disclaimer, that is a joke. So yeah, he picked her as VP. We're gonna have a conversation about that. What's going on? If it's gonna help or hurt him. Trump executive order on COVID relief. New York City's going under.
That doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me at all. And Yale University is being sued for being anti-white. So we'll get to that on. It's literally.
Wow. Okay, it just popped up on the computer.
They're guilty of discrimination, which we'll get to that.
Wow.
In the show. But let's start off with Kamala Harris. COVID.
Pardon me.
Let's start off with Kamala. So I the night before he picked her, and I was saying on this podcast a couple weeks ago, I said he was going to pick Kamala.
Well, you said it was either going to be Kamala or Susan. You were going back and forth.
I was going back and forth, and then I went to. Well, I said a couple weeks ago, I said it's going to be Kamala.
That's true.
Because I said he was going to be the Trojan Horse, kind of leading. And then I was like, you know what? I think it's going to be Susan Rice. Because if I were Joe Biden, which sometimes I think if I were Joe Biden, and then I remember he's mentally insane. So it's like,
you are Joe Biden. Oh, wait. No, you're right.
But he's losing his mind. So it's like, I can't think like him because he's not making his own decisions. I guarantee you somebody else is.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, well, if I were Joe Biden, I wouldn't pick Kamala Harris. She was ridiculous. First of all, I don't understand the concept, and I said this on my video. I don't understand the concept of picking somebody who lost in the primaries. It makes no sense to me, you know? So I was like, okay, Susan Rice, he worked with her. The only thing she has is the Benghazi situation, which the media can play off. They've done it for years.
Yeah.
So there's that. But for the most part, she's a safe pick. And when you pick a vice president, you want to pick somebody who's a safe pick. You know,
who's going to help your campaign.
Yeah.
And not possibly.
Well, yeah, because like Biden, I mean, Trump picked Pence.
And that did nothing but help him.
It did nothing but because he wanted the evangelical vote. And he was from Indiana. So it was like a good kind of situation where he got that.
Midwestern.
Yeah, there's no reason to pick Kamala Harris. She got completely raked over the coals by Tulsi Gabbard in the... Oh, she got obliterated. I mean, it was pretty embarrassing what happened to her in those primaries. She dropped out before they even voted. So she was like one of the most unpopular people running in the primary. Second to like Marianne Williamson, which is embarrassing. No, it's humiliating. So he picked her. I was like, he's going to pick Susan Rice. So the night before I come out, I'm like, it's going to be Susan Rice. You know, just from a political standpoint, it makes much more sense to pick Susan Rice.
From an intelligence standpoint.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. Well, he went with Kamala Harris. His hand.
Maybe he made that decision off sniff.
Oh, she smelled the best. I saw that meme.
She
it was
smelled the best.
Kamala smelled the best. But yeah, and this is, what I've been saying, and we've been talking about on this podcast, and I think a lot of people have been saying this, but what's going to happen is I do genuinely believe that he's just kind of the Trojan horse for the radical left.
Oh, yeah.
And they had to nominate him because otherwise they would miss out on that, on that radical, or I mean the moderate blue-collar Democrat vote.
The people who, like, have been with Joe Biden for a while. They've known about Joe Biden.
Well, it's those moderates that are important to win. It'd be like why you can't nominate like an ultra libertarian to the Republican Party. That's why they have to be their own party. If you nominated a libertarian, you'd miss out on like the core, the boomer neocons that you need to get, which I think Trump played that perfectly. Where we got the boomer neocons. Can you hand me that napkin? Thank you. Allergies.
Allergies?
Yeah,
My ass.
No, he made on the Boomer neocon. Anyway, so Kamala Harris, what are your thoughts on? Do you think? I think she's radical, dude. A lot of people say she's not radical. She's been talking about
radical in the bad sense, not the radical or anything.
She's not rad. Well, that's rad.
Oh,
you know what I mean? If you're rad, then you're radical, and you're
definitely in the '90s.
Yeah.
They were going radical.
If you're radical, you're me. If you're rad, you're also me, but less so. You know.
Less so, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was your question? I cut you off.
I was just. I mean, she makes me nervous. She really does.
Oh yeah.
She's so unpopular. People don't like her. But this is like the perfect situation to try to sneak her in.
Well, and you've also got to think like she publicly, talks about how she, whenever she did, her stint as a police officer. That
she prosecutor. Yeah.
A prosecutor.
Yeah, Attorney General of California.
Was she Attorney General?
She was Attorney General of California.
She put away 1,900 people for marijuana possession.
Which, okay, based, but also that's not good.
That's not good for your Democratic
Party. It's not good for the Democratic Party, but I'm completely... And that's the thing is people complain all the time, and I'm not taking her side or anything, but they're like, why are you locking up so many people? It's like, hey, did you ever maybe consider like not committing a crime?
Yeah.
I'm not defending her because for the I don't have a problem with locking people up who commit crimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If selling weed is a crime and you do it, then guess where you're going? You know? You go to the
register? Oh.
Oh, no, that'd be this. That'd be ring. No, I went ring.
Yeah, but the ring at the end, that's a bell at the register.
No, but that was the thing.
The old-timey registers where you got to like pull the
No, but it was going
lever
because it was latching shut.
That's what it's more like.
No, it goes.
Is there a little bell at the end of it?
No, it's not the bell. It's the freaking
attaching.
Lock pin? Yeah, it's the lock attaching. It doesn't go ronk.
Those are big locks. Those locks don't go ting.
Oh.
They go.
On Jeffrey Epstein's cell, they go ding.
Yeah.
They get in and kill him. No, but so. I don't have a problem with that. But if you're running as a leftist, if you're running as part of the party that's like free all the criminals, get everybody out of jail, it's COVID, we have to free the rapists.
Yeah.
Then it's a pretty unpopular position to have.
That's why it blows my mind that she is so vocal about it.
Which it scares me even more because if we're gonna have a leftist as president, like if that's gonna happen, at least have somebody who we know where they stand. Like if we were to get AOC or Bernie, like I don't like them, but at least we know where they stand on the issues.
Yeah.
We know how they're going to vote. We know where they stand. Kamala Harris is like the CEO of opinion changing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
wasn't it like 3 months ago she was calling Biden a
but
rapist?
she was literally saying she agreed with the accusers. She's like, I think you're a freaking sexual harasser, and I agree with your accusers. And
now she's like,
you want to be my vice president and rub my hairy legs? Absolutely, Joe. It's like, dude. And then they do that. Did you see that conference they did, the press conference they did? They called for wearing a mask for 3 months.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Which it's not going to happen. I always laugh so hard when a candidate calls for something.
And it's like...
If I were Trump, I would have come out and just been like...
No.
How are you going to call for something as a candidate? That's like the dumb... You have zero power,
Yeah, at that point, you have absolutely nothing.
Yeah, you have no power. He's trying to basically... It's literally cosplay. He's cosplaying.
Look at me.
He probably thinks he is,
We are
too.
the captain.
We are the captain, no. But of course, they didn't take any questions from the press because they never do. They have their written statement. Then Biden would just fall apart with questions with the press, I think.
Hairy legs.
But I got my hairy legs. So, yeah, Kamala Harris, dude. I can't believe this is... I can. Well, I can believe it, but it's just...
They're trying... Okay, like you said, Trojan Horse.
Yeah.
They're
that's
trying...
what it is, but why wouldn't you... I don't know. I feel like it would have made more sense. What they're betting on is her to become likable. They're betting on the American people, the Democrats, to be like, okay, I guess I can get behind her.
Or like make some shit up about her, just so people start liking her.
Yeah. They're betting on us accepting her, not us because we're not Democrats, but they're betting on the Democrat support base to accept her. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, there was a point in time in the primaries where she skyrocketed in popularity. The media loved her. The media really wanted her to be there. The two candidates that I thought going into 2020 were going to be the biggest ones were Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, and ended up being neither of them. They both sucked. But the media was like really pushing for them. And she had her moment. She was growing in popularity. The media was all behind her. And she literally, she folded because nobody liked her. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens down the road. And obviously more information as things come out. There's not really.
Yeah, it's pretty fresh.
There's not really much we can say about her. You know? It's like, oh.
Hitting the end of the smoothie.
You're hitting the end of the smoothie. So. Did you hear about Cannon Hinnett?
Yeah. Little boy, 5 years old.
Yeah, 5 years old, got killed. Now, a lot of people are talking about this. I haven't really posted about it on my page just because, I mean, I feel like, and this is nothing against the right, but I feel like they're taking this and they're trying to make it like they're trying to conflate.
They're trying to make it their George.
They're trying to
Floyd.
make it their George Floyd, and it's like terrible situation.
Yeah,
horrible situation.
Absolutely.
But the guy got arrested.
Yeah,
the guy got arrested. He's going to jail. I mean, that was like literally with the George Floyd situation. We were like, and again, I'm just thinking logically here about. Well, no, it's just like when George Floyd happened, the cops got arrested. They got arrested. What else do you want?
Now we want reparations.
Well, yeah, and now Cannon Hinnett, and I get it. The media's not talking about it, but the guy got arrested. Justice has been served. You're never gonna get the kid back, which is so sad. That family has to like bury the child, which is so tragic. And it was a horrible situation. I mean, he literally came up and shot him execution style in front of his sisters.
And apparently, like they have.
Was there any reason?
No, not that I know of, because they said that he had like ate with like they were neighbors. They had all ate together ate dinner before.
Yeah,
like. They had him over for dinner.
Really?
They
and he was just like, "Fuck this kid."
They weren't like
I mean, why?
It wasn't like random. It was just like he decided today is the day.
Well, I'm sure he was annoyed with him. There had to have been something. I mean, it's
Who the fuck knows? Evil is evil.
Evil is evil, and there's really no reason for it. But like, I wonder what set him off. I know the kid obviously didn't do anything to deserve.
I'm sure that they'll come out to say something.
Yeah.
Like,
what if the kid was like riding his bike, like screaming the N-word, stuffing down the street?
That'd be really bad. That'd be really bad.
On his like 3-wheel. Guy comes up again. Just jokes. I mean, we're being facetious here, but obviously a very tragic situation. But I'm glad the guy's in jail, and I hope he gets a death penalty. You know, I am not opposed to the death penalty, and a lot of people say, "But Dylan, you're pro-life. How could you possibly support the death penalty?" And I say because a child didn't make the choice to be there. You made the choice for the child.
A child is not inherently evil.
Well, not only are they not inherently evil, but the child didn't make the choice. The parents had sex. They put the child there. Uh-huh. So you can't make the choice to like put the child there and then be like, "Oh, okay, now we're going to kill it." Like, that's stupid. A criminal did something to go to jail. They committed a crime. So they made the choice to go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a completely different situation. People try to compare it. I'm completely in favor of the death penalty, but it has to be an expedited process. I feel like
it can't be like the years and years.
Oh, that's what happens now. Is they're on death row
now.
for decades.
Yeah.
And we're spending all this money, and they get their last meal like 15 times. And can you imagine being on death row though?
I mean,
I think if you now this is an interesting topic, and I want to get into Yale being discriminating against whites and Asians. But I want to bring this up first. So do you think that if we made the punishment for like crimes super severe, like if it wasn't jail, because a lot of people are like, okay, I can deal with jail, I'll adapt. If it wasn't jail,
like back in like the Wild West.
Oh, if it was like just face wall, every time you did something, anything, it was just like, super. So like you get thrown in the gulag. Like I'm talking super extreme.
Like in the Wild West.
Yeah.
If you like were caught hustling cattle or something like that,
you got your hand cut off.
Well, no, you were sentenced to hang.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like super extreme. Do you think
you stole a cow? Now you die.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Do you think if we had super extreme punishment that crime would drop? Like,
oh, probably.
I think so too.
But I think there'd also be really dumb people who would be like, I can still get away with it.
No, but there'd be less. You know what I mean? It's kind of like during Prohibition, drinking actually dropped. Right, the drinking actually declined in the country. This is something not a lot of people understand because in school we're taught Prohibition didn't work. Prohibition, it did work. Everything just went underground. But the rate of people who were drinking, who admitted, everything when it was legal again, you couldn't get punished. That actually dropped. So it did work in a certain regard. You know what I mean? So I think it'd be interesting if you like made it super, the punishment like super crazy.
Okay, so let's say you hold up a gas station. What's your punishment?
I mean, I'm thinking you should get something chopped off. Maybe your penis. I don't know. I don't know, dude.
Why do you go there immediately?
Because that's what. Okay, if you chop off a finger, someone could be like, I can go without a finger. But if you take away someone's sex, that's something you don't. Dude, I'm not doing anything, bro. If my penis is on the line, nope. I'm not doing it. Think about it. If you're thinking about, you've got like some weed, you're like, I could sell this weed and make some money. But if I get caught, I lose my penis. You're not going to be so quick to sell the weed. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying,
All right.
I think that's a good punishment.
So,
and then
everything except for like capital crimes where like you killed somebody or something.
Yeah, the death penalty.
That's death penalty.
Yeah. Everything else penis.
Everything
and if
else
it's a
penis.
pedophile or a rapist,
it's penis and then
no,
death
it's
penalty.
penis and then all of their like they
Extremities?
just have nubs. So no hands and no feet. So you literally just have nubs.
So how are they gonna get around?
Oh, they're gonna have to get around like fucking Christopher Reeve, dude. They're gonna have to blow themselves around in that. Christopher Reeve used to blow himself around with you. That's how they're gonna have to get around. How are they gonna? You figure that out, dude. You raped the child, bro.
Yeah,
you
you
can figure out how to get
fucking
around. I don't give a crap how you get around. You can lay in bed like this for all I care. I'll call you Bob. Throw you in the lake.
Hey, look at that vegetable.
That's what we should do with the pedophiles. We should chop off like their hands and feet and their cock, and then throw them into the water. And if they can swim out before they drown,
Why don't we hang them? But like,
see, what do you mean?
like hang them by the dick.
Oh,
Just
dude, no. See, I feel
above a pit of spikes. So then once the
no.
the genital does detach, then you're impaled.
We're obviously just kidding about all this, but I think the idea of public executions is hilarious because it's like, how messed up were people in the medieval times? Everyone's like, I'd love to live in the medieval times. No, you wouldn't. Any group of people that's just like eating popcorn, like when someone's getting hanged, is a fucked up group of people, dude. I'm telling you, back then
They didn't have TV.
Oh, they were savages.
That's all they had.
They were savages. They were like, "Hi, my mate, would you like to go to the public hanging this morning?" Why, of course I would love to go to the public hanging. Who's being hanged? Oh,
It's that witch.
It's that witch. I'm not quite sure she's actually a witch. All she did was feed a bird. But, she's being
They
hanged.
threw her in the lake and she floated, so. She's obviously a witch. She
Imagine
floated.
being a witch back then. Because you could never convince somebody you're not a witch. Like, if they just decided you're a witch.
The test was literally, if you float, you're a witch, and if you sink, you're not a witch. But if you sink, you're dead.
Oh, dude, I'd be like...
So it's like...
I would have been blowing water out, and it would have been like... Oh, I would have been blowing water out. Or air out. Just to, like, get to the bottom. You know when you're a kid and you, like, blow all the... Yeah, that's what I would
And
do.
you can, like, sit on the bottom, you're like...
You sit on the bottom, you think you're
look
like...
at me, Mr. Krabs.
No, dude, that's what it should be do. Have you seen the meme with the... We'll get to the Yale thing here in a second, but have you seen the meme with the public execution? I mean, with the crabs where it's going...
Oh, yeah, they're all,
whenever
like,
somebody, like, you're
partying.
glad
Yeah,
they
yeah,
died,
yeah.
and they go... like when Kim Jong-un, everyone thought he was dead. It's like Kim Jong-un died. It was like... We need to do that, so it needs to be public executions. And then you, like, hang the pedophile... And then the crowds go. Dude, I think that'd be awesome. All right, let's get into this Yale article here.
Oh,
let's
shit.
jump back to Sirius.
Yeah.
So this actually caught me off guard because in 2018, so the backstory to this, in 2018, some Asian Americans sued Yale University because they felt like the acceptance process and getting into the school was biased towards them, which it is. You've got things like affirmative action. You've got diversity.
Yeah.
Pardon me. You've got diversity quotas, and all these schools are trying to meet the diversity quotas. So they're like, they will literally take someone. It's kind of like Joe Biden's VP pick. You take someone based on their gender and skin color before you take the most qualified person. Now, I believe the most, and this again, we're sane, so this is normal for us. But I believe you should always pick the person who's the most qualified for the position.
Yeah.
Right? You shouldn't be like, oh, black, oh, Mexican. You know, you just...
She's a woman. We need her.
Like, you just pick whoever's most...
No. Is she qualified? Yes.
If she's
There you go.
qualified, pick her. If she's not, then don't. All right, so now, fast forward to 2020. Justice Department accuses Yale of bias against white and Asian American applicants. The Justice Department has declared Thursday that a 2-year investigation of Yale University's admissions has found the Ivy League school illegally discriminates against white and Asian American applicants in the highly competitive process of choosing undergraduate class. The department said it has concluded that the university gave too much weight to race in reviewing applications in violation of the federal civil rights law. There is no such thing as a nice form of race discrimination, Eric Dreband, Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, said in a statement. Yale categorically denies the allegation, of course. But this is something we've known for a long time.
Yeah. I mean,
schools, employers, a bunch of people, they do hire based on race.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not white people. Right? It's like,
well, they have to meet their quotas, you know.
You got to meet the quotas, you know.
Which,
you have to make sure you don't piss anybody off. But I feel like we've gotten to a point, and this may be kind of controversial to say, where we've politicized race to the point of where, like, if you hire somebody who's, like, let's say there's 2 people applying for a job, right? Let's say, like, you're black, I'm white, okay? We're both applying for a job. I happen to get the job. They're going to, you might get mad, you know, or somebody might get mad for you. I feel like it'd probably be a white liberal. It'd probably be a white liberal that would get mad for you.
A female.
And they'll be like, well, why didn't you give him the job? He's like, you know what I mean? So I think a lot of companies are like, I don't want to deal with that. You know, I'm just gonna, you're juicing, bro. I'm just kind of gonna try to meet those quotas.
Well, you know.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm glad that this is happening because I think this is gonna kind of.
Well, like, I hope that it should snowball.
Well, everybody, you know, we talk about racism, we talk about wanting to counter racism, but racism against white people, racism against Asians is still racism.
You can't be racist to anybody else except black
Yeah,
people.
they say that because the white people have like the power, quote unquote, that you can't be, but you absolutely can be.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's not like it goes back to all of it goes back to, you know, slavery.
Yeah,
you can't be, or you can't say that you can't be racist towards white people because they invented slavery, but they didn't.
No,
it goes all the way back to like Middle Eastern. Like
slavery has been around for.
I mean, African tribes were enslaving other African tribes.
Yeah, well, slavery has always been about whoever's more powerful. Oh, guess what?
Now
less powerful group. You're my bitch.
We are in charge here.
We are the Jepton. No.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's always been about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I get it. It's bad no matter what happens, and it's bad when you single out a race for it. But now races are being singled out, and it's white people and Asians. And I'm glad this is happening because I think we need to bring awareness to the fact that you can't just be racist towards black people. You can be racist towards anybody. And when we see practices of that, it needs to be called out. And I think a lot of people are afraid to do it. Thank goodness we have the based Justice Department now, you know, that's willing to actually look into that. But
yeah.
And I wonder what the left says about that, because you've got Asians. It's not just white people; it's whites and Asians. So I wonder what the left says about that. You know,
They're just a bunch of racists. The Asians and white people are now racist.
yeah. Well, you know,
there in league.
So what were you were telling me about something before we went live about the president of Tanzania or
okay.
something?
So I don't know if you heard about this, but
No,
the president of Tanzania,
Yeah.
he got coronavirus tests from the WHO.
Yeah.
Because the WHO,
Wait, who?
not the band.
Oh.
Dude,
I do that every time somebody be like, "Oh, the WHO." I go, "Who?" The WHO.
Who?
Who?
Who you talking?
Who?
Yeah. And then they're all,
Shut the fuck up.
And then eventually, like, oh,
that wasn't funny.
it's like one of those stupid dad jokes. It's not
all
really
right.
funny.
So he got coronavirus tests from the WHO.
Yeah. Who?
And he took a sample from a goat
Yeah.
and a papaya.
Mm-hmm.
A papaya? I think it was a papaya.
Only in Tanzania are they going to do this, you know?
And then sent them to the WHO with like human names like Dale. And
Okay, no,
John.
you're not in Tanzania named Dale. It was
It
probably
was.
like,
It
Halige or something,
it was.
you know?
But they were, you know, human names.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Hey, animals have human names too.
That's true. Anyway, moving on.
Isn't that so, well? Let's just think about that for a second. Isn't it so weird that you give animals like human names?
Well, like my dogs,
yeah,
Bo
yeah,
and Hank.
yeah.
Like
Hank for a
Hank.
dog, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like
Although he is a Hank, like
he is a Hank, yeah, and Bo is definitely a Bo.
he's very, very mellow, and Hank's very.
Oh, that dog is insane. I remember I used to come over and he would
Just yeah, it looked like he was gonna kill you. But
Oh yeah, he just comes, but you know he's not because he looks
Yeah.
nice when he's coming. You can always tell when the dog's on the approach. Anyway, go on with the.
Anyway, he sent the test back to the WHO, and they came back positive for coronavirus.
Of course they did.
And he was like,
There are no positive here.
"This is fucking bullshit."
Yeah.
And
So he just took it from like or from a, what was it, a goat?
a goat and some kind of fruit. I think it was papaya.
Oh, he
but
took
I'm
it from
not
a papaya?
I think so.
Seriously, he took it from a fruit.
And let me see if I can find it. Yeah, no, it just says a fruit. I think I had a pawpaw, which is a fruit from Tanzania.
What's a pawpaw? Let's look
I
that
don't
up
know.
right now. Here, hold on.
But
Here, we look that up.
yeah, but he
I want to see what a pawpaw looks like. I need to see this so I can know what fruits to avoid because obviously they're contaminated with coronavirus.
kind of looks like a
It kind of looks like it looks like a
mango almost.
no, you know what it looks like? It's a combination. What's that? Oh, damn it! I can't remember the name of the. It looks like a crap. I can't remember the name of the vegetable, dude. It's like it looks like a combination between a mango and a squash.
Oh yeah, I
You
see
know?
that. Like a squash with seeds.
It does. You
A
know,
squash with
It's a
seeds.
pretty weird looking fruit, but apparently it has coronavirus. Just kidding. It doesn't. They're just trying to inflate the numbers. And I've seen that a lot, dude. I mean, it's been crazy.
And he was like, so basically we gave you tests from a goat and a fruit, and they go, then they were false. It was a false
it was a
positive.
false
It was a
positive. Well,
false
that's what they
positive.
say all the time.
Yeah.
But no, dude, I'm telling you, they're trying to. If Biden wins the election, God forbid, I guarantee you the tone will change so fast on coronavirus in this country that it won't even be funny. It'll go from this is in fact, to we got this under control. We're really working toward the solution. We're in the right direction. Everything's perfect.
Like I said, like my wife had asked me, she goes, when do you think all this will be over? And I go, November 4th.
Yeah, November 4th is when it's going to end. TSFT podcast prediction, November 4th, the tone will
November
change.
4th.
If Biden wins.
No, even if he doesn't. I bet you it'll be over by November 4th because it'll be like, well, we didn't win this round. Let's try something else now.
Yeah. And the coronavirus thing has been interesting because for the longest time, and I said this, and I want to talk about Trump's executive order on COVID relief because he's done a lot. I mean, we've had big progress in terms of that. But we've been saying, and I actually said at the very beginning of the lockdown, I was like, the lockdown, the consequences of the response to COVID will be worse than COVID.
By far.
And I think that that's happened.
Oh,
I think that that's come to fruition. So if you go to my Instagram page, the most recent post, we have the CDC director talking about how he's seeing more suicides and drug overdoses, particularly in high schools, than he's seeing deaths from COVID.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, but this is coming directly from the CDC director.
Yeah.
And so this is like...
Oops.
This is I mean, that's big stuff because, again, this is something that we've been saying for a long time. And the CDC director has been on the right side of things like this for a while. I mean, he hasn't been like Fauci, who's just a complete joke. Fauci, I don't understand why he still has a job. He's been back and forth on the masks. And, dude, you can't tell me with Fauci on the masks. In March, he goes, there's no reason for people to be wearing a mask. It makes people feel safe, right? You can't tell me that this dude's been doing medicine for like 40 years, right? He was like healing Jesus,
Yeah.
You can't tell
He
me
hasn't
that
seen a patient in like 15.
we haven't seen a patient, and the coronaviruses we've dealt with all the time. This is just a new strain of a coronavirus. You can't tell me that you just now figured out that a mask works against a coronavirus. Like, that's insane. This dude, they lied. They lied because the medical community didn't have, and this is all they had to do. The medical community didn't have the proper number of masks, so we needed them to have the masks. So instead of just saying, don't get masks, the medical community needs them. And if you say that to like normal people, now obviously there's some people who rush and buy them.
Yeah.
But if you say to like a normal person, hey, the medical community doesn't have masks, let them get a hold of them first, most 99% of people will be like, okay, that makes sense because we want to make sure that they're taken care of.
Yeah.
Instead, they just come out and lie. So if you lie, completely lost credibility, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, let's play that clip from the CDC director.